Biden sparks fury by saying no one is being killed in Kabul while knocking on wood despite stowaway and stampede deaths. Joe Biden has sparked fury by saying no one is being killed in the chaos around Kabul airport, despite the deaths of Afghan stowaways and even a young girl in a horror stampede. It comes just a day after Afghan health officials said one person was killed and 6 were wounded when the Taliban violently dispersed a protest as multiple others died trying to flee the country. Biden faces calls to be impeached after the Taliban seized the Afghan capital Kabul on Sunday. Credit, AFP. More than 600 Afghans crammed into a C-17 plane as they left Kabul. Credit, Reuters. No one's being killed right now, we got 1,200 out yesterday, a couple thousand today. We're gonna get those people out, Biden said as he knocked on wood next to him. Days before his interview, a 14-year-old girl was trampled to death in a stampede at Kabul airport when she tried to reach an evacuated flight, the Mail Online reported. She is understood to be the youngest of the 12 victims who have died in and around the airport since Sunday, according to insurgent and NATO officials. The president was interviewed by former White House Communications Director George Stephanopoulos on Wednesday. Calls have grown louder for the president to be impeached after the Taliban seized the Afghan capital Kabul on Sunday. During the interview, Biden said that they are going to try and withdraw U.S. citizens from Afghanistan before their pin deadline of August 31st. If we don't, we'll determine at the time who's left, and if there's American citizens, we're gonna stay and get them all out, he added. Last month, the president said the U.S. military mission in the war-torn country would have ended by that date. In the last 24 hours, U.S. military flights had evacuated 2,000 more people, bringing the number of evacuations to 6,000 since Saturday. The Pentagon is aiming to evacuate up to 22,000 special immigrant visa (SIV) applicants, their families, and other at-risk people. Biden also snapped over photos that showed desperate Afghan stowaways falling to their deaths as they tried to escape Taliban rule. Afghan stowaways were pictured in the landing gear of a U.S. cargo jet as they tried in desperation to leave the war-torn nation. Biden snapped when he was asked about the chaos at Kabul airport that saw stowaways fall to their death. Credit, East to West. Hundreds of Afghans run alongside a C-17 plane as they try to leave Kabul. Credit, AP. The president thought we had to gain control of this when he first saw the chaotic scenes emerging from Kabul. The president once again doubled down on the decision to withdraw U.S. troops when probed on the handling of the Afghan crisis. Biden said, "No, I don't think it could have been handled in a way that we're gonna go back in hindsight and look. But the idea that somehow there's a way to have gotten out without chaos ensuing, I don't know how that happens. No way to avoid chaos?" She tweeted, "This is such a slap in the face to the thousands of Americans still in Afghanistan." Biden's ratings have taken a dip as 46% of Americans approve of his performance in office, according to a Reuters/Ipsos poll that was conducted on Monday. She told Steve Bannon, "I have my team right now working on articles of impeachment because I'm so disgusted with Joe Biden." She said a disaster is waiting to happen if Biden continues to lead the military. It remains highly unlikely that Biden will be removed from office via the 25th Amendment. The president continues to receive a barrage of criticism as Donald Trump said America has never been so humiliated amid the troop withdrawal. He told Sean Hannity, "It's cost us trillions of dollars, millions and millions of lives." Trump referred to the situation as the greatest embarrassment in American history. In his address to the nation on Monday, Biden admitted that he was surprised by the speed of the Afghan government's collapse. He told Americans that he stands squarely behind his decision to withdraw troops and has no regrets. The president said, "After 20 years, I've learned the hard way that there was never a good time to withdraw U.S. forces." He blamed the outgoing Afghan administration, accusing leaders of giving up without a fight. The president reiterated that American troops shouldn't be fighting in a war that Afghan forces are not willing to fight themselves. "We will continue to support the Afghan people, push for regional diplomacy and speak out for the rights of Afghans." It comes as Taliban militants declared their victory a proud moment for the nation and vowed to impose Sharia law in Afghanistan. Militants brutalized and oppressed women when they ruled in the 1990s, and many have spoken about their fear about what the future may hold under the Taliban. One woman, who had her eye gouged out by the insurgents, revealed how the Taliban fed her to the dogs. Meanwhile, fighters have marked the doors of prominent Afghan women with paint as female journalists were taken off the airwaves. Thousands of people desperately stormed planes at Kabul airport Monday in a bid to flee Taliban rule. Video footage appears to show two people falling to their deaths after being thrown from a C-17 aircraft that had just taken off. It's feared that the collapse of the Afghan government will spark a resurgence in Al-Qaeda and ISIS terrorism. A new ISIS splinter cell is waging a war against the Taliban as it seeks a new caliphate in the country. ISIS militants have been battling the Taliban for control of the war-torn country for the last 6 years with little success. Desperate Afghans tried to flee Kabul, credit AP. It's feared that Taliban rule could spark a resurgence in Islamist terrorism, credit AFP.